room full of representatives. Bad ideas will discover their strength no more.
Federalist Papers were highly persuasive essays in the ratification of the Constitution. They were originally newspapers in New York, The Independent, and later were turned into a book. They were written by James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay. The documents argued for a stronger centralized government in order to preserve the Union. They did an outstanding job of highlighting the weaknesses of their opponents, the anti-Federalists. As a result, the Federalists gained much support, especially after they added the Bill of Rights. From a political standpoint, if the Federalists had never written the documents, the Constitution may never have been ratified. The Constitution establishes a federal government and delegates priorities to this government with limits. Under the Constitution, under the Articles of Confederation, there was a unicameral body. In Federalist 10, Madison brought up the issues of factions. Due to rising factions, if we didn't have the Constitution, our nation would be unbalanced. We may have eventually destroyed every governmental structure that was in place. With no judiciary system or executive branch in place, it would have affected the checks and balances that we have today, if we even still would be an independent country. For example, during the War of 1812, the lack of federal authority would have affected us winning. Without the ability to raise an army, the defense efforts would have crippled. We may have lost the war and returned under the previous control of Britain. Without the Constitution, the development of the United States as an independent country would suffer. From an economic standpoint, it would have been hard to sustain the Articles of Confederation because of the constant need for tariffs. In Federalist 32, it says states should have the authority to levy their own taxes, of course with the exception of laying foreign duties on imports and exports. There was to be absolutely no free trade among states under the Articles of Confederation, which would ultimately limit the stimulation of the economy. Without interstate commerce, it would be very difficult to generate revenue. The absence of a single authority over interstate or foreign commerce would have doomed the nation, along with the failure to provide any provisions for generating revenue. If it weren't for the Federalist Papers, the Constitution may have never been ratified. Who knows if we would have an independent country or a country at all.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Liberty is the faction when there is the fight. Don't you take away one, save us from the other. We can be the same, but the we will never prosper. Factions are the first to rise, terrorists sponsor.
Stop! Mr. Schuler! It's the freaking Constitution!